Welcome everybody to Left Coast Live. It's just gonna be me today, unfortunately. Let me go ahead and just do a little bit of promotion. It has been 3 weeks since our last stream together. Hey, there's Dieter. What's going on? Literally like right on time. I got the notification same exact time as you did. Oh God, what a crazy past month it's been. Um, we just had the 4th of July, obviously, and 250 years of conflicting principles. Am I right? Let me go ahead and put this where it needs to be. Put this on Instagram, put this on Facebook, put this on Blue Sky, on Twitter, and all that good stuff. We got a whole hell of a lot to talk about. That's for damn sure. Including but not limited to the recent DSA victories. We're going to talk about each one of those and what it means for the future, especially when it comes to the Democratic Party and the current makeup of the Democratic Party and the overall influence that DSA may or may not have. Just don't want to be on the record as hating our 250th birthday. Yeah, I mean it's a great point. Honestly, it wasn't even much of a celebration for me. It was just seeing more about seeing family than anything. I could really do without ever watching fireworks or anything like that, like ever again, if I'm being completely and totally honest. But the reason why us lefties are so happy or at least pleased with the victories from the Democratic Socialists of America and their endorsed candidates and whatnot is because we believe in bettering America. Honestly, we believe that this country can do so much better than the current hand that we're being dealt, obviously, and it's an uphill battle. Um, Obviously, there's a whole hell of a lot of bias from the establishment because the boogeyman of socialism is still lingering in the cultural zeitgeist, as it were, which is damn unfortunate because you can take a look at what Zoran Mamdani has been doing in New York City and how he has been massively effective and successful in implementing not only his agenda that he campaigned on, but the agenda that people voted for. He campaigned on a whole bunch of issues. He's delivering on those issues. And there there are still like some lefties out there, like some like far left leftists and whatnot that are like, well, Mom Donnie's still technically right wing. It's just like, for one, shut the fuck up. For two, how many potholes have you filled? you know, but it is the success of the DSA endorsed candidates. I think I got all my promotional material out of the way. Is the success of these candidates that brings us hope. But we're going to go into the details of that pretty soon. Dieter's in the chat, and he says that the parade that he went to was a joke. California doesn't know dick about how to throw a 4th of July party. Yeah, and honestly, neither does Trump. I don't know if you guys saw, yeah, there was a PG&E truck in the parade I went to. It reminds me of when I went to Pride in San Francisco in 2016, and AT&T was giving out stickers because I remember I got one. It was basically the AT&T logo, but it was rainbow instead. It's like, God, that's so funny. But yeah, the 4th of July, 250th anniversary of America, put on by the Trump White House and whatnot. Um, it was a motherfucking joke and a half, to put it lightly. There's obviously barely anybody there, and stage was falling apart. People were being turned away at the gate. Getting in there was a pain in the ass. It was just mismanaged. It just totally ran like shit. Yeah, don't go to Trump. Don't go or anybody associated with Trump if you want to party, unless like you're heavily into cocaine, which I'm sure you'd have a fine enough time, I suppose. But anyway, let me actually take a look here. Democratic Socialists of America. We're going to start with this, and then we're going to get into the Graham Platner stuff, which is very, very upsetting, very disappointing. We're going to take a look at their recent victories. Okay, let's see. So, our work, get involved, chapters, resources, news. News here. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like it's giving me exactly what I want, so let me go ahead and actually look somewhere else. And bear with me, I'm a little underprepared because I had jury duty today. First time ever. I'm actually overseeing a DUI case, and I'll say no more than that. But they adjourned us at an early enough time where I was like, "Hey," reach out to my company, like, "All right, is there some work I can do? Some stops I could knock out? Because I'm a technician." And I was able to do a little bit of work before getting home, just so I can get some, production pay and whatnot. So bear with me here. Okay, let's just do this. DSA endorsed candidates victory. Yeah, let's see here. This is from MSN.com, which is a very conservative website for being real. Over 30. Let me actually share the screen here. DSA all the way, baby. Yes, I gotta. Why? I'm slacking. I'm really slacking. I gotta sign up for my local chapter. I hope we get some Trump trash in the chat tonight as well. The way, the truth, and life. Let me go ahead and share this real quick. Share screen. All right. There we go. That should be fine. I had a custom layout, and that should be fine. Whatever. So, over 30 DSA backed candidates win primaries nationwide. We're going to go. Get the fuck out of here. Jesus Christ. Anyway, fuck it. Who won big? We got a couple names right off the bat, and these were the biggest ones. Now, I've been, but just bear with me because I can't really pronounce these very well. Daria Liza Avila Chevalier, yeah, and Claire Valdez. They scored decisive primary victories in New York and other states. Yeah, like the biggest thing, like narrative wise, rhetorical wise, is how, oh well, Mom Donnie, he may be a socialist, but that can only win in big cities and deep blue, blah blah blah. And it's just like, well, Denver is sending somebody to Congress who's a democratic socialist. These people can win outside of major hubs like New York. I mean, California's definitely got a lot of catching up to do. I mean, a lot of catching up to do. It's a very spoiled state. It's not as progressive as a lot of people would think. I mean, the people are, but not enough people. There's a lot of Republicans here, a lot of moderates, especially the further away you go from the coast, like the Bay Area and Los Angeles. But I think we might actually get a progressive in Los Angeles as their next mayor. I could be wrong. I'm not sure how much of a progressive they are, but as long as they beat Karen Bass, because I think um, they're gonna be in the runoff. Yeah, 30 fucking DSA back candidates. It's huge. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's not over. Like we're now at the point where the Democrats they have to start bending. Democratic elites, Democratic leadership, big figures, particularly big figures who are not known for being progressives. Kamala Harris is now out there trying to steal some of Mom Donnie's thunder, basically siphon off some of his clout. It's uh it's so transparent. Um, you know, through gritted teeth, Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are trying to be as distant from it as possible because it's they don't actually give a fuck about controlling the House or the Senate. They want their people, their insiders to advance because they see it as you know, uh, next in line. It's this person's turn. They've served capital and our needs for long enough, so they should take this seat. And that's fucking changing. It's been that way for a long ass time, but here comes the DSA being like, no, 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 the voters are what matter. The voters are going to vote in their conscience, and their conscience says, oh, the DSA, they're popping right now. The people that they're endorsing, anybody who's a progressive, anybody who is actually talking about affordability, Medicare for all, abolishing ICE. I actually want to bring up a video here. Give me 1 second. I want you to listen to the House Speaker, Speaker Johnson, warning about the perils of the Democratic Socialists of America. Let's see here. All right, let me actually. Oh, perfect. Oh, I don't even have my headset set up properly. Okay, USB. All right, check this out. I'm gonna switch the screen here. Listen to what Mike Johnson is saying, or should I say, he's warning us. He's warning about the perils, the terror, the audacity of being a democratic socialist and the beliefs that come with your ideology, their advocacy, Listen to how horrible this is.
The DSA, the Democrat Socialists of America, this is their platform. Listen, this is actually quotes from their platform that they published, I think, about a day or two ago. You can find this on the internet. Okay, here's just a sample of what they're about. They put this on paper.
Okay.
They're saying the quiet things out loud.
Really?
Abolish the Electoral College, replace the two-party system with a multi-party democracy.
What? That's terrifying. Who in their right mind would support that? That's horrible.
Expand the House of Representatives, implement proportional representation, and
No. How dare they? What? Who in their right? Are these people insane?
ranked choice voting in all
God. What do they think this is? Democracy?
elections.
How
Abolish
can Democratic Socialists believe in democracy like that? That's insane.
establish public ownership of the largest corporations and essential industries to ensure democratic control and
What? You mean like socialism? How can Democratic Socialists support socialism? What a horrible idea. Public ownership is like, I mean, having stakes in uh, companies and what they make and everything that already exists in some form or another. But how dare they advocate the expansion of that to benefit more Americans across the board?
accountability to the people. Abolish ICE and grant amnesty for all.
How dare they?
End sanctions on Cuba, Venezuela, and Iran.
Oh, you mean like Trump is already doing? What you mean like Trump already did this year?
Free Palestine.
Yep.
Quote, for a free Palestine with Jerusalem as its capital, end all military and economic aid to Israel, prosecute U.S. and Israeli leaders responsible for the genocide in Gaza.
It's like you say this out loud, and it's like, who the fuck is in opposition to any of these things? I beseech you.
Abolish the carceral state. Quote, redirect police and prison funding to public services as steps towards abolishing the carceral forces of the capitalist state.
Yeah, I mean, to get real about it for a second, just look no further than like Portugal or Norway, Scandinavian countries in general, at how they emphasize rehabilitation over punishment and how successful that's been. But of course, it doesn't register to goons like this because Americans are obsessed with punishment. So why in the world would Americans support this? But then again, times are fucking changing. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a massive amount of panic behind the scenes. Because all these fuckers, Mike Johnson, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, they're all in the same circles. All of them. Just because they have a different letter next to their name, a D or an R, don't mean shit.
Y'all, it goes on and on and on.
Y'all.
Defund the Department of War, replace the president and the Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary chosen and subordinate to Congress.
Now that's actually like the coolest idea that he said out of anything there. Like that's actually like a fucking fantastic idea. Now that didn't actually cover everything, so let's go ahead and see here. Where would leave off? Left over
quote,
here.
Redirect police and prison funding to defund the Department of War, replace the president and the Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary chosen and subordinate to Congress.
That would be like that would be genuinely, for lack of a better term, revolutionary. That would be an amazing change. But like the American mind can't comprehend shared power, a balance of power. Everybody's like, oh, like the president, they're the head of everything. Everything revolves around them. Why? Why should that be the case? That's insane. Like why should the leader of the free world, quote unquote, bear the weight of so many responsibilities? Like we can see with Trump the horrors of concentrated power and no accountability. With a system like he's describing, it's easier to hold people to account because the power is shared amongst a lot more people. And so decisions are made in a lot more of a democratic basis. Doesn't sound like a bad thing to me yet.
which they're hoping to take over. And the last one is abolish the Senate. Now, some of you may agree with that, but don't just leave that one there. Okay. It's fine. I'm kidding. I love my colleagues over there.
No, that was yeah. So I I mean I agree with abolishing the Senate, to be honest. It's it's been said before on this show between me and Dieter that the system is completely lopsided, and even conservatives can see this. It's just like, why does Wyoming have two senators while at the same time California has two senators? Like, what are those two senators in Wyoming representing? Fields of manure, the vast barren landscape of bison, Yellowstone, you know? Whereas it's like California, it's the most diverse state in the country. There's nearly 40 million people living here. There are a lot of different needs. Two senators? But yeah, like it's I really want, like, because when these points, these principles, these positions that the DSA holds, as Johnson pointed out, that's on their website, if they're read aloud to conservatives or Fox News viewers, ordinary Republicans, how much of it do they actually support or understand? Because I would imagine if these positions weren't tied to, oh, spooky scary socialists, spooky scary democratic socialists, if these were like, oh, these are Republican positions, this is the new GOP platform, I'd imagine Republicans would be like, yeah, I'm on board. That sounds fucking great. Something to think about. I mean, am I wrong? And it goes beyond these positions as well. 30 DSA back candidates. They won. We're going to go back to this. It's not a long article, but just to reiterate, because it really is a big deal. There is so much momentum on the left right now. Socialists score landmark primary wins across the U.S. DSA endorsed candidates have advanced in 35 primary contests this year, spanning federal, state, and local levels. Major upsets include, I'm not going to try to pronounce her name again, I'm sorry. Can we call her DAC? Daria Liza Avila Chevalier, defeating five-term Representative Adriano Espaillat, I believe. Sorry if I'm butchering these names. In New York's 13th district, and Claire Valdez's 20-point win over Brooklyn Borough President Antonio Reynoso. These gains occurred despite several candidates facing opponents with significantly larger campaign funds, underscoring the impact of grassroots organizing. Because, and that's the thing, there's something organic and authentic about it, because you're about the people, you're about the voters, you're about what the people who are voting for Democrats actually want and speaking to their needs. It really is that simple. Take Mom Donnie for example. Like, he's still campaigning. He is so successful. He froze the fucking rent, guys. Guys, he froze the rent. Like, and the only people who are complaining are the fucking landlords. It's just like, if it's so bad, sell your property. You are a landlord. You own property in New York City. Get the fuck over it. Among other things he's done too. But he's still campaigning. He's still making videos. He's still fighting for New Yorkers. He's still changing things that need to be changed. He is like the mirror version of Trump. Great charisma and still campaigning. Still like just out there selling himself. But the thing is, he's selling his ability to deliver for New Yorkers. Guys, it's been 7 months. He's starting to prove it. Well, 6 months. He has a record now. He's fulfilling his campaign promises faster and more efficiently than most Democrats have ever done. And it says a lot, because it goes to show how Democrats, when they get elected, they just sit on their hands, or they prioritize their big money donors. They don't give a fuck about the people that they actually represent. They'll do enough here and there so that way they have enough to talk about. Like, look, I did this. We delivered this for this. Blah, 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 blah. But are they Mondani? I don't fucking think so. MSN also continues here. Who wrote this? Curated by Copilot? Are we fucking serious here? I should have figured. Oh, and no wonder. Okay, so this is, oh my god. I have disgraced myself. I'm sorry. MSN has really gone the way of just full AI. Curated by Copilot. They're referencing Washington Examiner, which is a fucking conservative tabloid rag. HuffPost, which fucking They haven't been relevant in over a decade. Washington Examiner again. Washington Examiner again. Washington Examiner. Just why? What the fuck? For the sake of continuity, for the sake of continuity, we'll get through this. A leftward jolt to the Democratic Party. The wins show strong backing among Democratic primary voters for policies such as Medicare for all, the Green New Deal. I mean, I haven't really heard many of them talk about that, but I guess climate action, I guess more vaguely, but yeah, more broadly, more generally, and reallocating police funding, excuse me, towards community programs. High-profile endorsements from Mayor Zoran Mamdani and Senator Bernie Sanders elevated these candidates' profiles in safe Democratic districts. This momentum suggests the DSA's platform is resonating more widely within the party's progressive base. You love to see it, guys. You absolutely love to see it. Republicans respond to socialist victories. Couldn't give a shit fucking less. They can melt down and cry all they want. From fringe to force, the DSA's decade of growth. In the last decade, the DSA has grown from a marginal group to a significant electoral player with members holding positions in major cities and state legislatures. Its strategy focuses on building local influence, recruiting younger candidates, and channeling frustration with establishment politics. Polls show strong support for socialist aligned figures among young Americans, suggesting the movement could shape U.S. politics well beyond this election cycle. Like I said, guys, the momentum is in the left's hands as we speak. It's so relieving, honestly, because I've been following this shit since Bernie was screwed 10 years ago this month. 10 years ago this month. Unless it was June 2026. I think it was July. And then Hillary went on to lose. Even though Bernie Sanders campaigned his ass off for her. It's just amazing to see the left come this far. I mean, it took fucking long enough, obviously, but I remember the Justice Democrats was reformed right after Trump won the first time. And that led to the squad. That led to the victories of AOC, who she's running for president. Let's not let's not pretend otherwise. And the rest of the squad, fucking Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, originally Jamal Bowman, Corey Bush. Hopefully they come back. Corey Bush might come back. But now I think a lot of the Democratic base is done. Dieter chimes in and says, Kamala 2028. I think she'll her ego really can't be contained. I really do think she might actually end up running, but I don't think she'll be successful. I mean, she dropped out early during the 2020 primary. AOC is absolutely going to run because the Democratic voters have had enough of these people. If more DSA aligned candidates run in more states, hopefully swing states, because we need more of that, they can win. I absolutely believe that. AOC and Kamala do get out for the women's vote. That will probably be Kamala Harris's purpose. If AOC runs, Kamala Harris runs. And AOC is not just going to have to fight against Gavin Newsom and Pete Buttigieg, who Pete Buttigieg, of course, is slightly more progressive. She's gonna have to fight against Kamala Harris too, which really sucks. We need more progressive WASP running for office. Yeah, I mean, if only WASP were more progressive, you know. I can also see Mayor Pete becoming a problem. I mean, they're going to gang up on whoever is the most progressive candidates in the race, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do the same thing that they did in 2020. They coalesce around one major moderate centrist candidate and split the progressive vote somehow, some way, and then you end up with like a Gavin Newsom, something like that. Because that's the way this machine works. That's the way that the Democratic Party business operates. Unfortunately, it's very unfortunately because there are a lot of variables at play, and there's still a lot. There's still a lot that can happen between now and then. Right now, right now, the issue is PR and optics because a major progressive figure who is still unfortunately running for Senate, even though he needs to drop out immediately. He is now feeding this narrative that, oh wow, I mean progressives really don't care, do they? They're supporting a rapist. You know, that's why I think it is imperative that Graham Platner drops out immediately. Mamdani, who has said from the very beginning, my focus is on New York. I'm worried about New York. New York is my sole focus. He even came out and directly said Graham Platner should drop out of the race. And I'm glad he did that too, because it's like the optics here, the politics. Bernie Sanders came out, Ro Khanna came out, rescinded their endorsements. A bunch of other groups, and they should have. It's it's really hard to deal with because you know there there are a couple things. There are a few factors here, right? When it comes to Graham Platner and whether it's whether you're a tepid supporter or a vapid supporter, there was always a lot of nuance. You know, I believe people can change. I believe that even deep into someone's life, they can have an epiphany, an awakening. They can have their mind change, their vision of the world just completely flipped on its head, basically. And I also believe that Graham Platner, in particular, was vehemently targeted and attacked by anti-democratic forces within the Democratic Party and the media, and obviously APAC as well. However, this new accusation um, is just too much to ignore, and I think everybody go read that Politico piece on it. I think we're gonna watch actually a video. I think it was CNN. I think Jake Tapper interviewed his accuser. Um, and then we'll watch his response, which was really, really bad, just so people can get an idea. But the thing is, what sets this apart from the Heritage Foundation Republican staffer, accuser, whatever, from like a month or so ago, um, it just didn't hold any weight at all. But for this, it was corroborated. It was recent. It was somebody close to him. It was detailed. There was a timeline, and he just outright denied it and won't drop out when he should drop out, because the deadline for having your name on the ballot or taking your name off the ballot is July 13th. That's 6 days away. He, by refusing to drop out, I mean, because listen, like I am among many people, I am very, very, very disappointed, disgusted. I gave him the benefit of the doubt when the whole scandal surrounding his tattoo came to play, and then like he got covered up. So I was like, okay, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Just dumb. And then when it came to like his past mercenary work, you know, it, this was strike three, and I desperately wanted him to beat Collins, but he needs to drop out because he is setting back the progressive movement. And the longer that he delays his withdrawal from the race, the worse it's going to get. There's only so much time. He needs to get out of the race so that way someone who is progressive enough and not someone who's just thrown in there. Like, keep in mind, Chuck Schumer is a big reason why the primary in Maine was screwed up to begin with. I think it might have been Troy Jackson, or it was someone else. I think it was Troy Jackson. He is he's pretty progressive. He was going to jump into the Senate race, but he was contacted directly and told, don't, because of Chuck Schumer. Because of that, Platner had a chance to gain a whole lot of momentum because he spoke to a lot of the issues that Mainers were dealing with. And I still believe in a lot of things that Platner campaigned on. So what does fucking Chuck Schumer do instead? He throws in Janet Mills. Fucking nobody wants Janet Mills. She's fucking close to her deathbed, like Mitch McConnell, who's probably actually currently dead right now. Excuse me. There is a short window of time for Graham Platner to be replaced by someone who may or may not beat Susan Collins. With that being said, Graham Platner was not forthcoming, was not thorough, was not honest, and betrayed thousands of people who supported him, sent him money. Just sad times, dark times. But there's still a lot of people out there who are, you know, rightfully being like, well, I don't trust the media, you know. And the trustworthiness of the media is a big reason why Graham Platner still has support, because I didn't want to believe it at first. I was like, this is just fucking desperate smears. Like they're trying really hard to get him out. Let's watch the video. Because I had my mind changed, and I'm sure I haven't watched this entire thing, but I did read the Politico article regarding it. Let's see. Okay, we'll go to this one. Yeah, let me bring this up real quick. Bear with me, and boom.
You described your relationship with Graham Platner as a very good example of what modern dating is like.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is that, I think there's a lot of situationships. I think people are dating multiple people at the same time, whether that's known or not known by the people involved. So it was just a very common practice is what I viewed it as.
And kind of casual.
Yeah, very casual.
And when did you meet him and how did you meet him?
Met him on Bumble actually in 2019. And I had known who he was.
Bumble.
He grew up in the next town over. We had like a mutual family friend. So I always knew of his existence, but that was when we actually met.
And what did you think of him?
At first I thought he was great. He's very well spoken. He's intelligent. He's charming. I thought a lot of good things. We had a great first date. It went and flowed really well.
He has described himself as self-medicating with alcohol.
Yeah.
He has described himself that way.
Yeah.
So I would think maybe that would have reared its head.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
flagged,
that's something that I
honestly.
think a lot of people are desensitized to. In general, heavy drinking, and especially out of the relationship that I just come out of. So it wasn't anything abnormal to me. I remember we were out one night and he was drinking, and that's when he told me that he has PTSD.
When the New York Times story came out, you were in it, but you didn't go as far in that story as you are today.
Yeah.
Why not?
I didn't want to. I didn't want to have to violate this huge level of privacy to my own life to be able to infer that this person is not honest and trustworthy. I felt really protective of my own privacy throughout this whole process. And I just got to a point where my privacy was no longer going to happen.
Me too,
And that was when I
neither.
kind of just made the decision that like, I'm going to say my piece and get it out there. I had tried to give the impression that something, worse happened. And that's when I was like, I refused to comment further.
You definitely alluded to a bad night.
Yeah.
So bad that you never saw him again afterwards.
Yeah.
But just to underline the point, you're not coming forward because you have any political motivation.
No, not at all. That was actually one of the huge reasons that I didn't come forward and still struggled. Like that was a huge moral conflict to feel like.
Because you'd like a Democrat to be in the Senate.
Yeah. I like the things that he speaks about. They're important. They're important to people. I'm one of those people.
But at the end of the day, you feel he's not being honest.
He's not being honest. No.
And we should note this is 2021 we're talking about. It's only 5 years ago. Tell me about that. When was it?
The thing is, like, I believe basically, I believe everything she's saying. Like, she's very candid. It's just fucked up, man. Like this recently happened. Don't get me wrong here. Like the biggest thing is, it really like allegations hold weight when, for one, you had a close relationship with them, and for two, there's an established timeline of events, and three, if the experience is corroborated by others. I'm not sure if they talk about here, but there was corroboration. Like everything here is established. It's everything. It's over. Like Platner is done. There's no coming back from this. You can't trust someone like this. You can't have someone representing the progressive movement. You can't have someone representing progressive values if this is your behavior. And there's a rumor that this is not it. This isn't the only thing that's being held over Platner's head right now. They might be holding some more ammo against him if he doesn't drop out, which is understandable. It's shitty, because like he did run a really good campaign. He spoke truth to a lot of very important issues that the establishment won't. That he got smeared over about he got smeared over multiple things, But this is not something that you come back to, and this is something that the left in general needs to be consistent on in terms of morality and integrity.
It was at the end of 2021. I remember it being shortly after I moved back into my winter home, because that is where it happened. And it was a night where him and I were texting back and forth, and he had taken something that I said as an invitation, and that's not how I meant it. And I quickly clarified, and he sent a message back indicating that he would come over, and I said, no, don't come over. Like, I'm not in the mood. Don't come over. And I was more stern with that message. And then I didn't hear back from him, so I thought that meant he got the message or gave up on it or whatnot. And so like half an hour later, I heard a noise outside my door, and then he came in. He just came into my house. It was unlocked. I live in an area where you don't usually have to lock your doors. I do now. So he came in, and I realized, okay, he didn't listen. He's in my home, and I was laying on the couch. It was probably pretty late at night, and I was already ready for bed. I just wasn't in bed.
This part's probably going to be tough to listen to for some of you, but like he's breaking and entering. That's what this is.
And so he had kind of like jumped on top of me and indicated that he had intentions that were sexual in nature. And I remember just at first being like, hey, I'm not into this. Like, no, I'm not in the mood. Like, don't, whatever. And it got to the point where I was like, okay, I feel like I've said this enough times. Like, he's not listening to me or he's not hearing me. And I looked at him, and I remember this very specific look in his eyes. And I could smell alcohol, and I was like, this is different. He is heavily intoxicated. Like, and that blank stare was kind of like a photographic memory that I still have of that night. And his that was me recognizing what the situation was. And this wasn't just like, oh, hey, somebody showed up and I'm going to tell him to go home. Like, he was heavily intoxicated, had intentions with me, and wasn't listening. And I said, no.
And you were saying, no, don't, over and over and over.
I remember, obviously I've had to recall a lot of this. This is something that I tried for many years to forget. And so small details, might get past me. But yes, I remember very specifically saying, I'm not into this. In my message previously, I told him I'd had an old back injury. And I remember saying, like, I'm not in this. I've had a long day. My back hurts. Like I was in that kind of mood, like the leave me alone mood. And there was a little bit of like scuffle, like altercation. The house that I live in has like this antique sewing kit that I kept beside the couch. And that got knocked over. He like backed into it, or something was maybe pushed into it by me, or something happened in that moment, and that thing got spilled. And
you remember pushing him away?
I remember potentially pushing away with my legs, and then as he backed into it, it spilt, and all of the sewing needles and tape and yarn and everything went everywhere. Everything had fallen onto the floor. And in that moment, I evaluated my safety. Like, a drunk person who's blackout drunk is in my home, has these intentions with me, has already caused this amount of destruction and not listening to me. And so I basically felt safest just complying.
You normally use protection.
Yeah.
And this time he didn't, and you didn't want that.
No.
And he didn't care.
No, I don't think my words were falling on deaf ears or drunk ears.
I don't think we need to listen anymore. He stepped over boundary after boundary after boundary after boundary, and that's not someone that anybody should want representing them in any public office anywhere. It's a betrayal. It's just fucked. It's fucked up. He's a fucked up man. Like on one hand, especially early on, you can like sympathize with his PTSD and being thrown into deployment, but there's no coming back from this. There's no excuse for this. He violated multiple boundaries and consent. We're getting on a more positive note. Been going for almost an hour here. I'm not even gonna. Spinell, what you doing? Hey. Hi. You're the new star of the show. We're not even going to watch his response, but he basically denies everything and doubles down on his intent to beat Susan Collins, and everybody's calling him out. Everybody's telling him to drop out. Yeah, but I mean, it's not all bad news. You know, like we just said, multiple DSA victories, and that's just fucking awesome, honestly. Aside from that, Mitch McConnell is almost certainly dead. Sure, many of you have heard, but he hasn't been heard from in 3 weeks. His wife's more than likely a Chinese spy. And nobody can get a hold of him or his family. There's likely a massive cover up happening right now, only because it's to avoid a special election come August, in which, honestly, we might get like Thomas Massey running for his spot, which will be really fucking cool. I mean, how long can you hide a corpse, right? Like, how many people are involved? Like, because at the very least, he must be brain dead. I think the statistic is only 5 people. No, only 5% of people at the age of 34, 84. God, sorry, long day. Have survived a cardiac arrest and like go on to live at least without being, at the very least, brain dead, which is believed to be the case right now with Bitch McConnell. And honestly, like, no pity, no sympathy for him at all. He is a gigantic reason why this country is the way it is right now. And I really, really fucking hope that people like Chuck Schumer and even Obama or Biden or the Clintons don't write like this pathetic, glowing memorial post or whatever the fuck in honor of his memory, like they did with Greenspan or Kissinger, because this is one of those motherfuckers that deserves nothing but contempt, nothing but vitriol, nothing but hatred. because like he actively undermined all these people for one. He is the reason why the Supreme Court is the way it is right now. He's largely a big reason for that. I mean, he's the reason why America is sinking in a vat of sewage without a life vest. So fuck him. And fuck anybody who ever supported him, I guess. I think it's pretty much it. A lot has happened, but those are just the things at the forefront of my mind in particular. The World Cup has been really fucking cool. That's for damn sure. I'll say that right now. The World Cup has been a hoot and a half. When I went up to see my dad, he actually showed me a video of a whole bunch of Scottish folks coming over from Scotland, invading Boston to catch the World Cup, as well as Red Sox games. And they just brought so much energy, and it reminded me just how low energy Americans are. Like, there's just like no spirit here. So, this is my thing, right? With the World Cup and it bringing a whole lot of people to North America from Europe and wherever, and just the culture shock and the awe and amazement and whatnot. I my theory is I think once Trump is finally gone and someone replaces him, I think the country will breathe a huge sigh of relief. There will be relief, there will be rejuvenation, and I think people will start to like just come alive again. There might even be like a baby boom after Trump is finally gone. Because like some modicum of hope may return. Because I feel like everybody's just so jaded and tired at this point that can't do much right now under Trump. Just gotta like wait it all out. You just gotta keep waiting and keep waiting for him to finally either die or leave office. And so that's the vibe I get. I think a lot of people are just like, everything sucks. It's not gonna get better until he's gone. So we wait. What a life. I hope everybody had a good Fourth, though. I not only did I visit my dad, I went to Lassen Peak up in Northern California. Lassen Volcanic National Park. It was quite the experience. Very, very beautiful up there. Even this time of year, it's like not hot up there at all. There's still plenty of snow in some spots. Um, but yeah, had a good time. Great distraction from the woes of the world and getting led on by someone for like a month, just strung along, and then ghosted for a few days, and then a couple days later find out, oh, you're in a relationship now. Thanks for lying to me and betraying me and shit. But anyway, you don't want to hear about that. You want to hear about the fucking juicy, shitty, fucking political stuff that's been going on and whatnot. Or maybe you do want to hear about like some dramas I've been dealing with personally. uh, that's all. That's all I'll say. I had a good weekend, regardless. I have jury duty for the rest of the week. First time ever. First time ever attending jury duty, and it's quite humbling, honestly. I think next week, because odds are I'll probably have to attend next Tuesday as well. But if we do a show Tuesday next week, if Dieter joins in, I'll expand on it a bit more. My experiences with jury duty and whatnot, how it all came to be, and how I'm just too damn honest, man. I'm just too damn morally consistent. I'm not going to tell them like, "Oh, I believe horrible things. You can't trust me as a juror." It's just like I can't do that. I just don't have it in me. I just nah. Maybe if I'm with friends, like I'll do it for the joke and whatnot, um, but no, yeah. First time being a juror. Anyway, love you all so much. Thank you all for joining in. It really means a whole hell of a lot. We'll try to do this as a full show experience next week, and make sure you guys are subscribed. Subscribe to Data My Business as well. And remember, like always, you don't get change in America by asking nicely. Guys, take it easy.